Guten Tag alle, Herr Wallis here. Today we're going to compare the tenses in German and in English. We're just going to talk about these six tenses. In English, the present tense; in German, Präsens. Simple past tense or imperfect tense in English is the Imperfekt or Präteritum. The present perfect tense is in German the Perfekt. I've also heard for that one the conversational past tense in English. The pluperfect tense, in German the Plusquamperfekt. Future tense, which is Futur, and future perfect tense in English is Futur 2. So let's start with the present tense. This is the tense of what's happening now. The big problem here for English speakers, and as you're going to see and as we go through these tenses, is that there are more ways to express these tenses in English than there are in German. So ich esse einen Hamburger. We'll just take that as an example. In English, however, this could mean I eat a hamburger or I am eating a hamburger, which is technically the present progressive tense, which in German does not exist. It exists in other languages that are akin to English, such as Spanish, but not in German. And then I do eat a hamburger is also something we could potentially say in English to relate this same thing. Okay, the imperfect tense or imperfect past tense is used in German mostly in written or in written form. So it is spoken, but only most frequently with the past tenses of haben und sein and the past tenses of the modal verbs like wollte or sollte or musste. But basically, it's a shorter form to relate past events. It is easier to use because it's easier to form in most cases in English and in German. But again, the problem is that German has one, and English you could express this three different ways. Ich aß einen Hamburger. I ate a hamburger. I did eat a hamburger, or I was eating a hamburger. Okay, so the present perfect tense or the Perfekt in German. This is a tense that most Germans will prefer to use when talking about past events. German has one way of saying it. Ich habe einen Hamburger gegessen. And your helping verb here, in this case haben, could also be a form of sein, which we have several videos over that, so you want to check those out. But in English, we could say I have eaten a hamburger. I did eat a hamburger. I was eating a hamburger, or I have been eating a hamburger. Okay, so these are all ways to relate this. The pluperfect or Plusquamperfekt in German. Sense is for actions further back in the past. Once more, German has just one form, English has it two. Here you're going to see the helping verb in German be in the past tense, so it'll be hatte or war, which is a form of the past tense of sein. And then in English, we could say had. We mostly just say had. I had eaten a hamburger, or I had been eating a hamburger. The future tense, and this is the tense of things which are to come, of course. German has, you guessed it, just one form. English, well, we have two. I will eat a hamburger, and sometimes in English we could say I shall eat a hamburger, although that's a little bit older form and generally not as frequent. So, or I will be eating a hamburger. And this is sort of just a shadow of the fact that that present progressive in the first tense that we talked about, you see that still being mirrored here throughout the other tenses. Finally, one thing else to notice for the future tense is that German can use the present tense to refer to future events. Ich gehe can mean I'm going, or it can mean I will go. It just depends. So, future perfect or future Futur 2 in German. This is the tense of things which have not yet happened, but whose completion you could confidently predict. Again, German has one form. Ich werde einen Hamburger gegessen haben. And then English, I will have eaten a hamburger, or I will have been eating a hamburger. Now, to be fair, the second one here in English is not often said, but it does exist and one could express it so. Okay, so das war's. Vielen Dank für das Zuschauen. Auf Wiedersehen.